Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's get on with the show now. Tolu Moteni is still here. Tolu, you're listening to the technical director of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. A pretty good one for handball and its development.
Yes, I'm impressed to hear that there are under-17 tournaments and there are players. I wouldn't have imagined that there would be people who are interested in that sport. You know, when we have sports that are not always, regularly talked about, that do not have that publicity, partake in age grade competitions, and they go out to do well. Yeah, it speaks well for the tournament, for the sport in general. Look at them doing well in the under-17 category, winning.
And after that, now they're having the national league, and the league is very important because it's a stretch.
And then you can then build progressively for the future. Set up a proper team. Know that this is where you expect to get your pool of players to come in and represent the national team, and then have proper coaching system, proper playing system, so the players are not rusty. It's not like when it's time for them to go for an international competition, just come for a crash training session like we have with beach soccer. But this is a proper setup which the players will like.
That's right.
And everything is going on well for them at this point in time. So this is just brilliant news. It's a great news. We only hope for some exposure, so that more people will know about the sport, so that more people can develop interest, and so kids can know that aside football, basketball, tennis, and table tennis, there are other sports for you to take part.
And it gives us an opportunity to take the pressure off football, and also
I'm not sure that will happen.
Well, I mean, for administrators, because whether or not you like it, there's the cycling federation in this country. There are other federations that are quiet, So they need to do stuff like this. And when you get into the league is a welcome development, particularly when you're not under pressure that is win at all costs. Phase 1 is in Abuja. When they're done with this, they are back to Lagos. So players and coaches have something to look forward to.
Definitely. And I equally think they need to have a proper setup and get into schools, let kids know about this sport as early as possible. The first time I ever heard of handball in my life, I was in secondary school, and that was because a school nearby had a handball court, so I saw them play it. But how many people get that opportunity? But I think for you to grow the sport, you need to make it popular. In the most rural and local places. Let everybody know well enough about this sport, and then you can begin to educate them.
Even educate the media, let people understand the techniques,
I think
the dynamics, because, I mean, if somebody doesn't understand this current system of handball, how do you report it? How do you talk about it? So interest is lost at every level. So shout out to the Handball Federation of Nigeria, but hey, there's still a lot of work to be done. We like the fact that the league is ongoing. We like the fact that there's been grassroots competitions. Tolu just mentioned that we should go back to the schools. I've just mentioned that a lot of education should be done to improve the followership of handball in the country. Let's get on with the show now. The big one that we don't need to educate people about is the World Cup. You don't even need to tell a child who understands that when it's abandoned from June the 14th to July 15th is because daddy and maybe mommy is also involved watching the World Cup. The World Cup is coming, and it's coming fast. It's now 41 more days. 41 more days to the 2018 FIFA World Cup. You need to breathe, because this countdown, is going thick and fast, and you just see the World Cup right in your face. Tolu, when it was like 60 days to go, I was feeling the fever. At this point, I'm saying bring on the World Cup.
Bring it on. Let's go. That is what we wait. Look, the 4-year wait for the World Cup is... there's no other feeling like it. So when it gets closer, you just want to be done with club engagement and focus on the World Cup as quickly as possible, because 41 days, not a long time. We are not waiting for so long anymore. I mean, we're just thinking, let the players rest a little bit, and then we go straight to the World Cup. And that's the biggest sporting event in the world.
That's right.
Arguably, or unarguably, whichever works with you. But the World Cup is one we all look forward to every time it knocks on the door, and this year is no exception. The country hosting is a very unique one. Creates a lot of conversation around it and interest, but regardless, we just all seem to forget about the political tension and everything and just focus on the sport.
Particularly when the World Cup comes, everybody will forget. Sometimes we see protests before the World Cup, but when they Messi scored a fantastic goal. Did you see that goal scored by John Obi Mikel? Everybody will start talking about it and forget about their problems and worries. So that's what the World Cup can do.
Is that you prophesying that John Obi Mikel will just get a goal on the World Cup?
I'm just a sports pundit. I'm just trying to talk about some of the things that can happen at the World Cup. And the World Cup is coming fast, and Russia, a lot of activities lined up that I guess was heralding the World Cup. And ahead of the FIFA World Cup in Russia, Kaliningrad students are showing their passion for the game. Look at them right there. They're playing the Russian way with 14 balls and wearing traditional winter ear flapped hats and felt boots. The match took place at the promenade of Zelenogradsk town, a seaside resort on the Baltic Sea coast, which is around 30 kilometers away from Kaliningrad. Kaliningrad is one of the cities that will host the World Cup, including Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, and Sochi. It's an open space display, and they're just playing football for the love of the game, Tolu.
And I see a lot of balls on
that. I know.
It feels different. The boots also, but hey, showcasing culture, showcasing lifestyle. Of course, winter in Russia, there can't be a feeling like that elsewhere. It's going to be different, and so we see why they wear those hats they wear and those boots. But then this is why we look forward to the World Cup again. The diverse cultures in play. You know, I can already imagine the media preparation and buzz towards the World Cup. They will probably have been getting all sorts of languages from every country that will be coming just to keep the visiting fans, make them feel at home as much as possible. And this is why we love the World Cup, the engagement. It is not just about the football, it is about the activities before, during, and after football, both in the stadiums and outside, because there is going to be a buzz, and it's an unforgettable experience for everybody. I can imagine a lot of the students here will probably have written FIFA to be volunteers at one level or the other, and it's an experience you will never forget. So
never.
It's a great one.
That's right. So we cannot wait for the World Cup to come. You can see Russia, even if you don't get to be there present, a lot of things will be happening for you to know that Russia is ready to host the World Cup. We continue to count down to the World Cup, 41 more days to go.